Hey everyone, welcome back to another fun-filled episode, number 133 of the Retro Gamers Podcast. Larry here.
And Anthony here.
What's going on, Ant? How is sunny, beautiful Los Angeles, California?
It's exhausting.
It seems like that, always the case, right?
I had a very long day yesterday, and I am feeling it.
Well, we're recording on a Sunday, so that's what Sundays are for, just to rest and relax.
Yes, and that is exactly what I plan to not do today, because I have errands to run.
There you go. And that's welcome to real life.
Yes, you know what, people? Real life's not cool. It's just not. If anybody says it is, you know what? I will correct you.
Tell me about it. All right, so it's busy news-wise. There was some interest, which we're going to get to in a little bit. I feel like we just need to jump in with both feet into the water on this one. Some announcements made, some updates made on some systems.
Yes.
But before we get into that, let's talk about some little things, little news, if you will.
Yes, we're jumping right into the news this morning. I think and I think that's a good idea because I feel like we have a lot to talk about.
Yep.
So let's just jump right into the news. And the first thing is that I read this article the other day. By the way, if anybody is looking for specific retro game news, I feel like we should pop this site since I'm always going there for my retro game.
Source our sources.
Source our sources. But NintendoLife.com is a great source for retro news, and it's one of the first sites I go to when I'm looking up some info.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And this one I thought was particularly interesting because we know that Nintendo announced that they're re-releasing Link's Awakening on the Nintendo Switch, and they're giving it this kind of interesting graphic look.
Bubbly, I would call it.
Yeah, a little bubbly. It's kind of, but again, Nintendo's trustworthy enough. Yeah. I believe whatever they put out is going to be cool. I was like, but the art, the art for it or the graphics for it are very interesting and unique for a Zelda game. Mm-hmm. So apparently, this probably didn't sit well with a lot of people, including some fans who are now remaking Link's Awakening. Or the fans are planning or trying to. They're going to remake Link's Awakening in the style of A Link to the Past.
Okay. Ooh, that I would like.
Right. So Link's Awakening is getting a 16-bit fan treatment. Now, what I love about the article, though, is that the subheading for it is how long until Nintendo's lawyers step in?
I was just thinking of that. This thing won't even, as soon as they hit done and the game's complete, that's when they get the cease and desist.
Right, after all the hard work, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Real quick, hold on. I just want to say, now with Bowser taking over, can you imagine the destruction that will happen with these people?
I know. Because what's going to happen is these little developers, they're going to get so close to finishing, they're going to be right on the bridge, and then they're just going to get hammered right over the head.
You hear who's at the door? What? Why is Iggy Koopa here?
It would be awesome. Yeah. But anyway, so these fans are making this game. The project is called A Link to the Dream.
Ooh, I like that.
They're planning it to release on platforms like Amiga OS, Windows, and Mac in 2020. It's still a work in progress, but they've shared several images, and I got to say, it looks really good.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the images look really, really good. Just when you look at it, it looks exactly like Link to the Past. So imagine graphics, and that's what you're looking at for Link's Awakening.
You know what? That I can take. Look, I get, obviously the graphics on Link's Awakening were a little more, I'm not going to say childish, but were a little more lesser. I'm not talking about the fact it was on a Game Boy, but I think the look of the game fit the Game Boy. The way Link looked, the way the characters looked, like a little bit of a bigger head, smaller body. But yeah, on 16-bit, I think this game can definitely translate onto 16-bit. Pardon me. That would be quite interesting to see how that's going to turn out.
Yeah, I would definitely love to see it. Of course, I mean, Nintendo could shut them down whenever they want. I would love to see them create this and release it. They would have to release it for free because obviously you can't make money off of this stuff without Nintendo coming after you. But even if it's released for free, Nintendo's lawyers can shut it down in a heartbeat. Let's hope they don't. Although, let's face it, they're going to.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, because otherwise, who's going to want Link's Awakening on the Switch?
I'm gonna buy it, but
well, of course you are. So am I. But anyway, I thought that was a cool little Zelda news for this morning. There's been a lot of Zelda news lately.
Yeah, well, you got that. I know very quick. I don't know if it was something else you were going to mention. I think they hired, I forgot what the name of the production team, to start working on a new Zelda game, like a brand new game.
Oh shoot, I remember. I read the article the other day and I forgot who it was. They worked on something else.
Yeah.
But anyway, a very well-known video game developer was hired to work on some Zelda type game, and we don't know exactly what that is. In fact, I went to the website because they had jobs posted.
Oh, really?
And that's why I went. Yeah, because because they were like, this company is looking for employees to work on the next Zelda game. And I was like, ooh, okay. And then they had a list of the job positions, and I was like, wait, I'm one of these right now. So I was like, I go, let me just click and see. And then you go to the website, everything's in Japanese. I go, because, hey, they're developing it in Japan.
There you go.
And I'm like, damn. unless I feel like packing up and moving.
Oh, that'd be a heck of a move. I don't know if you can. So that's a tough drive to get to Japan.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Snow and Link want to go all the way to Japan. Let's ask Snow. You see her back there? Snow, you want to go to Japan? Yeah, she doesn't care.
I can't believe she actually moved from the top of the couch to
moved from the top of the couch to right over here.
Yep, right on your shoulder like a parrot.
Yes, a sleeping parrot.
The laziest parrot there is. Oh man, she's very the polar opposite. Where Link you can hear walking a mile away, yes. Snow will sneak up on you like a ninja.
Link loves to just make noise when he walks, and then on top of it, when we're recording the podcast, that's when he wants me to pay attention to him.
He's trying to get some of that cheddar. Yeah,
he's right. He's right here. He's right next to me, and at some point, he will jump in my lap, and you'll see him. That's like the new thing. When will Link show up on my show?
Adorable.
Our show.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyway.
All right.
Moving on to more news. Larry, I know you have something.
Yeah, I got something because a lot of people who did this, myself included, for a little while was thinking, hey, where's my $400+ going ever since I pre-ordered the Atari VCS on Indiegogo?
That was 400?
Maybe 3-something.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
Well, because it's the system plus controller and stuff like that. So, there was no news for months. And it was funny, just a couple of weeks ago, I think a couple of episodes ago, I don't know if we got it on air or not, but we were talking, I'm like, I haven't heard anything about the Atari VCS, and magically, bing, people are asking questions. They came out, the following day, they came out with updates. So
nice.
Here are the updates. Now, of course, the updates are pushing back the delivery. So originally, this thing was going to be delivered the summer of 2019. Right now, we're looking at holiday 2019, which is fine. That works out.
Okay, a little push.
Exactly. And something cool for Christmas. So the original update was that they were getting a new AMD Ryzen chipset, which is just going to give it more power, which is fine. I'm not paying extra for it, so that works for me. So because of that, that's what really pushed the delay. But now they've decided, I think for either aesthetic purposes or probably just, just so it works better, like flow and everything like that, they're slightly redesigning the body of the system. And I do like it because they're trying to design it in a way that makes it look like the original 2600.
Oh, that's cool.
So very quickly, just to mention, the one I pre-ordered will have the wood grain finish front, like the original 2600 had, because everyone in the late 70s were all about wood grain finishes. Very weird time. I don't know if you remember that. Everything was wood grain.
Yes, I remember that. It wasn't exactly the coolest looking stuff. Yeah. And when we say wood grain, we mean wood grain around everything. Like a television is a piece of furniture.
Well, It really was.
No, it literally was like where, it was like, and to be honest with you, if I can get my hands on one of those, I would definitely have one. Like it was a piece of furniture. You did not put it up on a TV stand. It sat on the floor, which means when you were watching television, you were looking down.
Yeah, actually you were.
Yeah, you were looking down towards the floor because that sucker would be, all of maybe, 28, 30 inches high.
About 900 pounds.
And then you use the top of it for like a shelf.
Yeah, you really did, yeah. Cabinets on the side sometimes.
Yeah, cabinets on the side. You would put like, a vase or, some candlesticks or, somebody's ashes on top. And
lava lamp.
Lava lamp, whatever you wanted to on top of the shelf. It was an amazing time.
It really was. Thinking about it.
And the television had the knobs, so you had to turn it to 2, 3, 5, so on and so forth.
That was about it. UHF channels.
Yes, UHF and VHF were our best friends.
So lava lamp. I'm picturing just a lava lamp on top of the TV. So what happens here is with the redesign, so what they're doing is, first of all, they're kind of lifting the system up a little bit. So it's going to be like a riser, if you will, on the bottom of the Atari VCS, which, again, does mimic what the original 2600 had, it was like lifted off the ground. Now, by doing this, what they're also doing is they're moving, the system's coming with 4 USB ports. So because of this lift, they're moving 2 of them to the front. Which is really good.
Were they all in the back?
They were. Like the original Atari 2600.
Oh, yes.
They were in the back. So, they had 4 of them in the back, so they're going to move 2 in the front. Perfect.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening. Now, here's the thing that I find a little weird, but at the same time, I can understand it. They are taking out the SD memory card slot.
Oh, completely.
Completely. There was a rear SD slot where you can put in for extra storage. But their thought process is there's USB storage flash drives out there. You have 4 ports. There you go. And it's a little more, like, I find USB flash drives to be more portable in the sense of you can easily lose an SD card real quick, but usually a flash drive, this is a flash drive. Like, I can use this.
Right.
As opposed to maybe losing one of these bad boys.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with that. I'm going to quote from the blog here about the SD card because I think it puts it into perspective. So, quote, "The rearranging of the USB 3.0 ports made another thing very apparent. The SD card port was redundant. Standard USB-A storage devices are ubiquitous.
Oh my!
And the decision to exclude the ubiquitous.
Yes.
No, the definition.
Oh, move on.
Oh, okay, so it means move on. And the decision to exclude the SD card.
I'm not awake.
The SD card port is in alignment with most modern consoles, which have 3 or 4 USB ports and should be sufficient for everyone's storage needs. I agree with that. I have no problem with that. So, makes sense.
Okay.
And then they're doing little things like the little Atari logo on the front lights up on some of them. And there's just streamlining that ribbon design, that ribbed sandwich, as they call it, design.
Okay.
So that's basically about it. Not a major design overhaul. The new dimensions, 12.3 inches wide, 5.9 inches deep, 2 inches high. So it's still going to have the USB port. The Ethernet port. Still going to go online. It's still going to have some of that fun stuff. So HDMI. So it's looking better. It's looking better.
Okay. I don't know about that, losing the SD card, and the only reason why I say that is because I feel like we're kind of all moving in the SD card direction anyway, and that's I think it's more of a standard than a USB drive. But I guess it's for them. I'm sure it's more cost effective because it's one less thing you have to put in the system.
True, but not like I'm getting a refund.
Well, true, but the cool thing about an SD card, is you you can pop it in there and just leave it there. If you're using the flash drive, yes, you can do that. I was like, but if, let's say you want to do a multiplayer game, 4-player game or whatever like that, you got to take the USB out. I mean, it's a minor inconvenience whenever you decide to have 4 players rocking an Atari, but and I don't know how often that's going to be, depending on how the system is.
True, and remember, some of these controllers are going to be wireless anyway.
Oh, true. Also,
yeah. Plus, I just got to make note. Now, granted, they're talking about an SD card, so it's the bigger SD card. Like the Nintendo Switch, I don't have to show you. Everyone knows what it looks like. Is a mini SD card.
It's the micro, yeah.
Micro, excuse me. And I've actually hit my limit. So I actually had to buy a new card because I ran out of memory.
On the Switch?
No, on the card, yeah.
What are you downloading?
Games. So,
oh, that's right. You don't buy physical games.
Yeah, so that's where some of the issue lies. That's the con, in my opinion, of digital games. Now, granted, don't get me wrong. I just turn the system off, pop one out, put the other one in, and we're good to go. But now I got to remember what's on what. So what I'm doing is the second memory card I got is actually an official Switch micro SD, so it has the mushroom logo on it. So I'm just going to put the Mario games on there and Zelda. Because I'm looking to upgrade to digital, even on the games that I have, all 7 of them.
Oh boy!
And so I'll put all
what do you have against physical games?
I just less room. That's it. Just less room. As much as this doesn't take up a lot of room, it's still taking up room.
Yeah, but I can tell you very easily how you can make a little room. Sell one of the 3,000 pop figures you have.
Why? Because those I want.
Room.
Those I want, and these I want too. And how easy it is to just to upgrade to digital. That's all. I got to do 7 games, one of which I probably won't even do anyway.
I know, but have you not learned from our shopping adventures that when you have games in the original packaging, they're worth significantly more?
I know, but trust me, if all these things behind me were digital, it'd be amazing.
Well, you should make all that stuff digital.
If I could legally, I would.
Like that Hulk Hogan figure, make him digital.
Hey, that was the story behind me getting that thing was fantastic.
All the more reason to make it digital.
So I'm going digital on those. I got another memory card, but I got it all worked out. It's pretty easy to switch. No pun intended. Okay. But so that's the update on the old VCS.
Moving on, and just a little bit of Atari news, because I was actually having a discussion with somebody last week about all these retro systems that were coming out, and he made an interesting point, because he's also a big Atari fan. We know that the Retron 77 came out, which plays 2,600 games, right? But we were having a discussion that there was no retro system to play Atari 5,200 games.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, which is interesting, though, because I was talking to him about it, and I don't remember the specifics, but he said that the 5,200 games, there was like a special, I don't know if it was a special chip or something like that. There was something different about that system that makes it, I guess, either more complicated to create a retro system for, or it needs to have like its own specific retro system. And there weren't as many games on the 5,200, so we may never see one for that. Now, I would assume, because Atari VCS is going to, obviously, you're going to be able to go online with it. I'm just guessing you'll be able to download 5,200 games on that.
I would hope so. I forgot the original idea behind it, but probably at some point. So
yeah. So for purists who like to play cartridges, though, you may be a little out of luck unless you go and find an original Atari 5,200. But anyway, I digress.
I'm still looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, and you know what? I've said every time all of these companies have come out, Atari, ColecoVision, and Television making their announcement, I'm really curious to see how these systems play out. And now we got Google coming out with their service. Like everybody is trying to get into the gaming market, and it's a great time to be a gamer. I mean, bottom line is, everybody's trying to, either hold on to their standing or get back in the game.
Okay,
so
cool.
And moving on to another retro system that I know you're very eagerly awaiting, and actually I am very eagerly awaiting to pre-order, the Polymega. Which I'm sorry, like out of all of the systems, retro systems, or whatever, everything that they've been talking about that's coming out, this is the one that we're both kind of holding on to the most, because it just looks phenomenal. I really do think like this is going to be the go-to for retro gaming.
Yes. really, and I know why you're looking into it, and I get it because it's the first clone system for discs, for CD-based games, and I mean, I've bought multitude of cloned physical cartridge systems, which is why I was in the debt I was in, but I think this is, to me, the pinnacle for it. I bought the one with the modules on them. I know you're looking to just get the CD one, which is perfectly fine. Makes total sense. But what do you got? What do you got about the old Polymega?
Yeah, so the Polymega was originally supposed to come out in April, right? That was the that was the intended release date. Unfortunately, Polymega has announced that there's going to be a slight delay.
Okay.
Because there are some chip supply shortages going on right now. Chip supply shortages. That's what I said. Both times.
That is an inside joke for a few people who are listening.
Yes, that is true. So anyway, it's not going to be coming out in April. It's going to be coming out a little later. However, the two bits of news that they did release for this is that in May, they're going to be accepting pre-orders for the second round of Polymega releases. So, people who are concerned if this thing is coming out or not, it's coming.
Yes.
It's definitely coming, just a little bit late. I was like, but in May, they're opening up a second round of pre-orders. So if you did not pay into the Kickstarter campaign that they originally had, you can pre-order it in May, which is what I plan on doing because I didn't put into the Kickstarter.
And, well, to be fair, just to be correct, it wasn't a Kickstarter. Like, they did their own pre-order campaign.
Oh, I thought it was a Kickstarter.
No, it wasn't through Kickstarter, but they treated it like Kickstarter because, and this is where I'm wondering when they reopen the pre-orders, if they'll add to their already total. They were doing goals. Nothing to do with Kickstarter, but they were doing goals, like light versus dark settings on the menu, this, that, and the other thing. But eventually they were going to get to a NES Famicom module, another Neo Geo, I think, module, or a Neo Geo module, and an Atari module. I don't remember which Atari. It could have been the 5200, but I don't remember. But like they were like heavy goals. They only got to the first goal. They made like 600 and something thousand. So I'd be curious to know, when it reopens, if they'll try and do that again, because I would love to see those additional modules. Yeah,
and we'll fund that. And considering all the, at least from what I've read, all the positive press it's getting.
Yeah.
I think it could be very easy for them to reopen it and hit those goals.
Yep.
But unfortunately, it's slightly delayed. The two bits of good news, the other bit of good news about it, though, is that they have announced that Sega Saturn games will now officially be playable on the system. Originally, they said they were working towards it. But now they said the emulation process, I think, is like it hits like 99%.
99%, yeah.
99% of Sega Saturn games, which is very exciting because, Larry, you'll finally have the opportunity to play your Shining Force 3 that you have.
Yes.
I can currently play mine because I have a Sega Saturn.
Fair enough.
Yes. But, yeah. So, and that's really it on the Polymega news. I mean, but, a little bad, a little good.
Yeah, that's all right.
And, again, I cannot wait for this thing to come out so we can try it.
No, I'm so looking forward to it. You take the good, you take the bad. I mean, you take them both, and there you have the Polymega. So it will work out just fine.
Yeah, well, you know what? When you take the bad, and you take them both, then you have the Virtual Boy.
Ouch. Luckily, that'll be the only time we mention the Virtual Boy today.
Yeah, I think so. I'm
Okay.
fairly confident that will be the only time we're talking about the Virtual Boy today. And that was actually, we just spent too much breath on it, so let's move on.
All right. So those two new systems, again, looking forward to it. Check them out when you can. But maybe it's now time to, unless you have something else there, to talk about, what is this, like the 7th time we're going to be talking about this? But we may...
I mean, holy cow.
But I think we finally are going to be able to talk about it with joy and with confidence.
Confidence, yes.
Yes.
So
let's talk about, and folks, yes, that's right, as a retro gamer, I got my hands early on a Sega Genesis Mini. So check that thing out.
That is not the Sega Genesis Mini.
Don't worry about that wire. That's not letting me, which I should have unplugged.
What the hell is that?
It's actually a USB port.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. No, but we are going to talk about the Genesis Mini because Sega has
Sega
basically slapped At Games in the rear and said, "Get out! We're done with you messing with our console, and we're going to do this ourselves."
Yeah, but you know what? How long did it take for them to finally kick them to the curb? I mean, that was ridiculous.
Look, they probably had a contract with At Games, and At Games just kept trying to go at it. Look, they came close. The last iteration, they came close. No, it was the best one of all of them.
It doesn't matter. I mean, the bottom line is, like, when you played those games, they didn't play at the speed they were supposed to.
Are you talking you talking about the physical games or the ones that were built in?
No, the ones that were built in.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it was just painful. It was absolutely painful.
Well, I heard the most recent iteration was better than the others. But you can throw all those away because now Sega, there's an official seal of quality, is putting out the Sega Genesis Mini. Which will include 40 legendary games. This is the biggest list, not counting the Commodore 64 Mini, the biggest list of games on one of these mini classic consoles. We're going to talk about both the Japanese version and the North American version. And I think right off the bat, which I think no one's really going to miss, is the fact that this is a pure mini classic system. You will not be able to play physical cartridges on the system.
Correct. It's going to be the same as the NES Classic and the SNES Classic.
Exactly. Basically. Actually, all joking aside, it is probably going to be about this big.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just take that USB port and turn it into
I probably do it
system.
Right now.
But yeah, and this also comes on the heels. If you remember, I think it was I don't know if it was last week or the week. It was like just a couple weeks ago when Sega was doing a poll on their website about which games or which game franchises the fans wanted to see more games of. And you know they had you know they had Sonic the Hedgehog and a bunch
Shining Force, I think, right?
I don't remember if Shining Force was on there or not. I think I wrote in Shining Force because they had other as an option.
Gotcha.
So and it was a poll, so you filled out you basically filled out the poll and submitted it to them. So coming on the heels of that, we got the announcement that the Sega Mega Drive Mini and the Sega Genesis Mini are a real thing. So Sega's really trying to. At least they're trying to get back in some way, shape, or form. There was also that rumor that Sega had teamed up with Google for the new Google system, although that didn't prove to be true as far as we know. That was never officially announced. We do know that Ubisoft is working with Google, but we don't know what other companies are.
Yeah, Sega will probably have games on it, but you're right. This is their first, technically, I guess, system since the Dreamcast.
Yes. So, and for the Dreamcast, we're going back to $99.99. So we're talking a good 20 years since they've developed some type of system. Now, granted, again, it's just remaking a mini Genesis in a way. But hey, you got to dip your toe in before you jump in completely.
This is very true.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to talk about it. So actually, you can blame At Games for one more thing. This thing was delayed. Missing the Genesis 30th anniversary window because of At Games and their deal with Sega when Sega finally kicked them to the curb. So a little late, but it's still going to be well worth it. And as much as we have the Sega Ages games, that Sega also announced a lot of new games coming out for the current consoles.
Yes,
this thing's going to be really cool. 10 games announced so far for both the Japanese and the North American, European versions.
Yep. And
let's get into the games first before we talk about the system itself and the one oddity between the two regions. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Yes.
So let's talk games. First, as usual, same with all these other systems, you have a set of games that both regions will have. Then you'll have a set of games that are exclusive for that region. So I want to talk about real quick, and I want to talk about the games that will be available between all the regions.
Okay.
So first, excuse me, Space Harrier 2.
Okay.
Very good game. That was like one of the first how can I describe it? Like you're moving forward on it. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
almost
it's
like
interesting.
a 3D. It was like a pseudo 3D.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So we have that. We have Shining Force.
Shining Force should always be included in any collection for Genesis games.
The definitive Shining Force game. Gunstar Heroes.
Which I've never played.
You know, neither have I, but it was a really good run-and-gun game, I've heard, and I'm really excited about this one. I'm
surprised you haven't played it.
Yeah, no, me too. It was on the Game Boy Advance, it was on the 3DS, Game Gear. I just never had a chance, you're right, never had a chance to play it. So, Gunstar Heroes. Comic Zone.
Yes.
Comic Zone was awesome.
I love Comic
awesome.
Zone. I mean, yeah, it's a side-scrolling, just action game,
But you play through the panels of a comic book.
Yeah, you play through the panels of a comic book, so it's really cool because as you move over to the next panel, you jump down into another panel. It's just really, I mean, they did it. It was so innovative.
The enemies were drawn right then and there sometimes.
Yeah, the enemies were drawn into the screen as they showed up. It was so cool, and I was very surprised that we never saw another one.
A sequel? Yeah, you're right. That is true. Well, a lot of them just one hit. That's all you need is just one.
Yeah.
And this is the game I am so happy about. This is really the game why I'm going to buy this thing. Castlevania Bloodlines.
Yes. Castlevania Bloodlines is, you can argue the best Castlevania game out there. You can very easily argue
in my opinion, yes. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. So, I played that game ad nauseum. I mean, it's such a great game. Forget about Castlevania game. It's just a great game.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Period.
And it's one of the very few games that I never traded in. Like, I still have my original copy of Bloodlines.
I picked up one, but I still, I'll take it on this thing. I'm just happy about it because, that way it's just it's going to definitely work. Not that this one won't work. Now, here's the interesting thing about Bloodlines. Now, this is only on the Japanese version as of right now. On the Japanese is called the Sega Mega Drive. Obviously, the North American and PAL is a Genesis. On the Mega Drive version, the Japanese version of Castlevania Bloodlines will have all 3 regional versions of Bloodlines.
That's awesome.
Between the 3 of them, you had different types of censorship. You had different types of slightly different gameplay. So the 3 games are a bit different from each other. And that is really cool. That's almost a reason in itself to try and pick up the Japanese system as well.
Well, because the Japanese version of the game is going to be the most violent one.
Well, that is very true, actually. All right, so those are the 5 games that will be available on both regions. Ant, do you want to talk about the Japanese version? Do you even have the games? Okay.
Yeah, no, I have the games listed, and probably the one. There are a couple of games here that I'm gonna butcher the titles and I don't know exactly what they are. One of them we know, Puyo Puyo 2.
Yes.
The Puyo Puyo series continued on the Genesis, so that's one that's going to be on the Japanese one and not the American one. And then we have another game called Madao Monogatari. No idea.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good drink to have on a late Saturday night.
Exactly. What are you drinking? Madao Monogatari.
Well, to be fair, from Wikipedia, just to quote the first sentence, the game takes place in a 3D maze with obstacles, enemies, and characters to confront.
There you go. Okay. So if you want the Japanese version...
I need to read one more sentence. A few examples of crazy items are Japanese curry, champagne, mini elephant, and strange little crystals that may summon Santa.
Oh, I need this game. Okay, I'm getting myself a Mega Drive Mini.
Oh my god!
Next trip to Japan.
Capsules in the game that you can capture enemies in a Pokemon-like style. What the hell?
Oh,
and
interesting.
Finally, the 5-year-old heroine Arlene Nadja later becomes a heroine of Puyo Puyo series.
Oh wow!
So it does have it has a tie of some sort.
Very well. That's lovely. I mean, so for anybody out there who wants to play, who've always wanted to play as a 5-year-old girl, please note that I said as a 5-year-old girl.
I don't know if we want you to listen to the show anymore.
can go get that game.
Okay.
All right, so then moving on to the other ones, we've got a game, again, another game I have no idea what it's about, called Rent a Hero.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what this one's all about. This did come out on the Dreamcast later on and Xbox. There's a lot of humor to it. Again, I'm reading this from Wikipedia. We never played the game before.
Yes.
So then, instead of using standard turn-based battles, fights are in a similar format to 2D fighting games.
Interesting.
All right, we'll have to YouTube this one to check it out.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. It was out on the Wii's Virtual Console.
Oh, all right. So we just missed this one.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay, and then let's see. We have a sports game called Wrestle Ball.
Yeah, this one's also very weird.
Well, to your point, like when we were looking at it, it reminded you of there's a game in American Gladiators where
the
you're
name
running.
Of it. Yeah.
I forgot that. Yeah, it was like speedball or something, or whatever it was. But you basically had to run around the gladiators to drop the ball in these containers, basically, and there were 5 of them spaced across the playing field. But if the gladiator pushed you, you had to, knocked you down. You had to drop the ball and run to the other side and get another one. Powerball. It was called Powerball.
Oh, okay. Oh, like this game. Okay.
Yeah. So this one's called Wrestle Ball, which looks like it's kind of got a similar vibe to that. And then we've got on top of that, I want to say Vampire Killer. That's
Castlevania?
Yeah, that's Castlevania. I may have a slightly different list than you do because you announced Space Harrier. You announced Space Harrier 2 from the North America version, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's on my list. And then here's the last one.
Hold on.
And this is what?
I'm sorry. I just want to go back to Powerball real quick.
Wrestle Ball,
Powerball, both of them. Like you said before we started recording, it does play like rugby.
Okay.
Elements of football, stuff like that. The game, for those of you who have this, Namco Anthology 1 on the PlayStation has an enhanced remake of this game. Again, it was on the Wii's Virtual Console. Son of a gun.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, now
so we're just missing these things.
Yeah, we're left and right.
We're bad retro gamers.
Yeah. Well.
All right. And then last but not least, and this is probably the one that we're going to discuss for a quick second, is that we all look. How can you have anything Sega without Sonic, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The Mega Drive Mini is getting Sonic the Hedgehog 2,
which I think is the better of the first 3 Sonic games. And 4 Sonic games.
Yeah, the first 4. And I agree with that. I think Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is the best of the 4. Mm-hmm. Now, the North America Genesis Mini is getting Sonic the Hedgehog 1.
Yes. And that's, all right, fine. I mean, I understand if you're going to put out these systems, let's put out the first of the games, the first series of the games. Sonic the Hedgehog 1, look, there's nothing wrong with that game. Don't get us wrong. Game is amazing. I just like Sonic 2 because really I just use Tails throughout the whole game.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I mean, again, this is just the first 10.
Yeah.
So, they may announce Sonic 2 on the Genesis. They may announce Sonic 1 on the Mega Drive Mini. Because if there was any franchise that I would want to see 2 games on, to appear on the Mini, it would be that one. I mean, it's the same way with the NES. How, the NES, you got all 3 Marios.
Exactly.
It just made sense. And both Zeldas.
Yeah. So
you want, I mean, on the Sega one, I would want to see Sonic 1 and 2.
I think we'll get it. I think
we can leave Knuckles home.
Well, Sonic and Knuckles wasn't bad, but Sonic and Knuckles is more fun when you put the game on top of it, when you link it up. Yes. Lock on technology.
Yes.
So North American, as Anthony started mentioning, the exclusive for the North American and PAL versions, Sonic the Hedgehog. Also, Altered Beast.
Yes.
A definitive classic on the Genesis.
I love that game. I mean, I always want to rise from my grave and turn into a werewolf or a bear or a flying dragon thingy with electricity.
Echo the Dolphin. Which I never understood that game. That series.
Okay.
I know you loved it.
I had that game. I loved that game. I never got far in that game at all.
Did you have it for Sega CD as well and everything like that?
I have I think I have Echo on Sega CD as well. And there was a sequel, Echo. I think The Tides of Time.
Yeah, there was a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Echo was a big deal. And to be honest with you, the gameplay itself was really cool. Like, nice side-scrolling ocean game, but it ran so smoothly that it was just awesome to just kind of wander around in the ocean, enjoy yourself. Completely forgetting about the fact that you're trying to save your family. I mean, who cares?
Going for a leisurely swim.
Yeah, but it was a fun game overall. It really was.
Okay. A joke that I refrained from saying a few weeks ago when we had the clinical psychologist on, but I think knowing him as we know him now, I think he would have found this funny. His favorite game, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Oh, jeez.
I got it out 3 weeks later.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad you did it now instead of when he was actually on the show, because he probably would have disconnected.
Oh, stop it. I'm sure he loves that game. All good, Dr. Bean, all good. I'm seeing a lot of people buying your book too, Dr. Bean, so we're good to go.
Yes.
Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, all joking aside, was it's a puzzle game, kind of like Puyo Puyo, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen one, you've seen them all, but still, something about Mean Bean Machine was cool. And finally, a game that I'll admit I never got into, and I don't know if you ever really played this, but I do know a friend of the show, Mario, who you can check out over there at the Rough Cut podcast. He loves this series, and we're talking Toe Jam and Earl.
Toe Jam and Earl was amazing. Are you kidding me? I played that game all the time. I think with my sister, actually, because it was one of those really, it was a great game because you could have two players on the screen simultaneously, as opposed to, taking turns. And it was a lot. Oh my God, it was so much fun. Very, very trippy.
Mm-hmm.
Very goofy. And you know what? And I think that was the appeal to it was just that you didn't feel like this incessant tense thing going on, like nothing was chasing you per se or trying to come down on you. It was just like two really cool, funky looking characters like going through these levels, and it was awesome.
Sweet.
Absolutely awesome.
So those are the games for now. 10 announced for each system. Again, there's going to be 40 in total. Let's talk about the stats of the systems, which I think are pretty much the same between the two, and we'll get into that in a moment. Of course, HDMI will run on USB power, and this one, unlike the PlayStation Classic, will come with a USB power adapter brick, which is very good. Of course, the Genesis Mini console and the wired controllers. They look like, if I'm looking at it correctly, they will be USB wired controllers. But let's talk about the controllers, shall we?
Yes. This might be a point of contention.
This is where it's a little odd. Or it may be a money grabber for Sega if they do it the way I'm thinking they're doing it. So, the North American version, we will get the traditional, classic, original 3-button Sega Genesis controllers. We will get 2 of them, in fact. Very cool, very comfortable. So far, all the games we've talked about, are for the 3-button controllers. Japan, though, they're going to get the 6-button Genesis controllers, and you have an option with those. Don't you?
Yes, you do. You can purchase the system with 1 controller, or for an extra $20, you can get it with 2.
That's interesting. I don't know if that's... Yeah.
I was going to say, I'll tell you what that tells us, though.
Okay.
That tells us that all of the games on the North American Genesis Mini will be 3-button player games. So it won't be any of the later games that utilize 6 buttons. For example, like a Mortal Kombat.
Street Fighter.
Or Street Fighter. You won't see those on the Genesis Mini because you're only going to have a 3-button controller.
Which is interesting. You're right. Unless they separately sell a 6-button controller. But the North American version will get 2 controllers already. You're really not going to need more than that. So that's...
Yeah, but the North American version, the price already has the second controller included.
Of course.
So, yeah, the Mega Drive Mini, if you want to buy one with just 1 controller, it would actually cost $20 less than what the one is that we're getting.
And also, the fact that they have 1-player versus 2-player, I wonder if that's like a... Are there just more single players in Japan, like where like the market is for those who will play just one player games? Like, I'm curious how that is.
I mean, I assume so.
No.
I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those things where they like to give their people options.
That's cool. So that's
not it.
Oh,
that is not it about this, because yesterday they officially announced the release date for the Mega Drive and the Genesis Mini.
Of course, let's hit it.
So we are looking at September 19th, 2019.
All right.
That is the official drop date.
Mark it on your calendars.
Worldwide.
Worldwide. Pre-order links will be coming soon.
Yes.
And I'm just curious to see what other games are going to be coming out, especially now that the North American system has handicapped itself to just 3-button games.
Yeah. You know what? At this moment, I'm not anticipating it having a 6-button control option. There's going to be no need, because if it comes with a 3-button, all the games are 3-button. There's no reason to buy a 6-button controller for it.
And again, a ton of games are worthwhile for just the 3 buttons. You know, the 6-button only came out because of Street Fighter, because of Mortal Kombat. And now that I think about it, I'm trying to think, other than a fighter, like, no game immediately comes to my mind where, like, you had to use the 6-button controller if it wasn't a fighter. I'm sure they're out there, but nothing's
No, and I agree. My question is, though, and again, it's a licensing thing, of course, but when I think about the Genesis, Mortal Kombat's one of the first games that comes to mind, because Mortal Kombat got released on the Genesis, like the full arcade, the bloody arcade version that was not released on the Super Nintendo. It's definitely a game I would love to see on the Genesis Mini, but now I officially know, at least on the North American version, it will not exist there.
Yeah. All right.
Nor will Street Fighter.
No, but then again, you have all these other options. Granted, the Sega Genesis collection has majority of these games on there anyway, but there's something about playing again. Even on a classic, you still have that weird feel of playing on the system like it did originally. So let us know your thoughts on the Genesis Mini. Hit us up on the Facebook page. Hit us up on Instagram. Of the other 30 games, what are you expecting? What would you like to see? Of the 10 games already announced, which one of these games will get you to buy the system? Like, for me, Bloodlines. I'm sold. That's it. I don't care what else comes out on this system. So hit us up. Let us know. And also your thoughts on the Atari VCS, the Polymega, Link, me, Anthony. Just let us know about anything and everything on our Facebook page.
All right, Larry. It is time for this week's Did You Know?
Ooh, I like this. What do we got?
Yeah, I like the Did You Know. And we're going back to the NES game, a very beloved NES game and licensed game and Disney game that we're going to talk about. And we're talking about DuckTales, the original game.
Do. Nice.
Yes, DuckTales. We all love DuckTales, arguably one of the best licensed platforming games ever made. And what's interesting about this is how it seems to be, coming back around. Now, DuckTales obviously had a cartoon back in the 80s that was awesome, featuring Scrooge McDuck and his nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. But now, recently, they've now released a new version of DuckTales on on the Disney Channel?
It's like Disney XD or something like that.
Or Disney XD, whatever. It's the kids channel.
It's like Disney Kids, that one. It's weird.
Yes, that's exactly how that's how they plug it too, when you watch it. So now we have this new show on Disney XD for DuckTales, and it's got same characters, Scrooge McDuck, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. There's another character on the show called Della. And Della, I don't know if she's the baby sister or whatever, but Della's on the show.
I think isn't she the daughter of the, or the niece of the maid?
No. That was, what was her name?
I'm trying to remember.
I forget her name, but her name wasn't Della. No, this is an adult character.
Okay.
This is an adult character on the show named Della, and in one of the episodes, the boys get in trouble, and Della calms them down by singing a lullaby that she learned from her mom when she was a kid or whatever it was, right? So she sings this lullaby to Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and the tune for the lullaby is the moon theme from the original NES game.
Really?
So if you go look up Della's Lullaby from DuckTales, it's the moon theme from the NES game, but now it has lyrics because she's singing a lullaby.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And and obviously the coolest thing about it is like kids watching this obviously will have no clue, but anybody who played the original game will immediately, because the moon theme was a very, very it's a very memorable song.
It is. It's
a very memorable song from the DuckTales game. So for Disney to kind of reach into their vault, as they like to call it, and pull out this piece of licensed music that they created over 30 years ago for a video game, and then use it for a show today, and adding lyrics to it, I just think it's just a really cool thing and something most people won't even notice.
That is quite interesting. I got to go back and check that out. Side note, Della Duck, the mother of Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and Donald's twin sister.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Geez. Okay. Is that new though, or is
that's exclusive to the
brand
new
new
series.
for DuckTales? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Huey, Dewey, and Louie finally have a mom after all these years. Great. That part I didn't bother looking up. I was more excited about the whole moon theme NES version. So I just learned a little did you know about Della Duck. But again, the moon theme now has lyrics. You can look it up on YouTube. Just listen to the lullaby and try not to fall asleep. And that is this week's Did You Know?
All right, so we are going to start to bring this one home, start to drive it into port, and I don't know, maybe try and get your idea, your thoughts, even thoughts of our listeners. So I'm actually moving up.
You moving on up?
I am, and fish don't fry in the kitchen, and beans don't fry. I'm still messed it up. All right.
Yes, no. You were there.
What was I? Fish don't fry in the kitchen. Beans don't
burn
on the grill. Did you get
burn
that
on the grill?
You get the Jefferson.
Come on, dude.
Mr. Jefferson walk. So,
but now, when you move upstairs, are you gonna have a roommate named Wheezy?
No. My parents only wish. It's gonna be just me. I'm gonna have all my pops. They will be my roommates.
And there you go.
250 something.
That's your Wheezy.
I just got 4 more pops though. One of which I will be looking to get. They do sell Jefferson pops. George Jefferson and Wheezy. They do, yeah. It's a 2-pack.
Oh, God. Well, now you have to get them.
Well, I do, but also I just picked up the Scrubs 4-pack, so I got those.
Oh, lovely.
Yesterday. Anyway, so that's not even my dilemma. My dilemma is the entertainment unit that I have. Because I have all these games. When I go upstairs, I plan on breaking out the original Xbox, because that has an HDMI wire now through Hyperkin. And if the wire works as good as it does on the Wii and the PS1 and PS2, I am buying this thing because it works like a charm.
Okay.
And then the Atari VCS, the Polymega, the Genesis Mini, whatever else is going to be coming out. There's no room on these televisions. So I'm thinking about trying to set up like a 2-television system for the entertainment center.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very auspicious to try and do this.
Well, I don't know if you necessarily need 2 televisions, I mean, that's what splitters are for. And I know you have a lot of systems, so it would be a lot of splitters.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. I don't want to put, because I still, I can't get any PlayStation system to work with a splitter on HDMI. Really? PS4 just keeps blinking, even with external power hooked up to it. The PS3 I never got, and the Xbox, I don't even know if that runs or not on it. So I'd rather leave those separate. But I have another television that has some multiple hookups to it, and I was thinking it's a smaller TV. My 4K, that's the main TV that gets all the new systems and everything like that. But the smaller television, that I'll use for the classics or the Polymega when it comes out. You know what I mean? Where I don't really need that big of a TV, because I forgot who I was talking to, but I was telling them, even with my TV's 55 inches, and as much as it's gorgeous and the games run beautifully on them, even the old games, when they're that big, I don't know, it takes a little bit of, I'm not talking graininess, just I want to play on a smaller TV with those. So
wait a minute. So now are you talking about an old school tube television?
No. It's the
Because it's all HDMI you're talking about, right?
Yeah, I have it on the other side of the room. It's like a 13-inch monitor that I bought like a year ago.
Okay.
That I use like for the few times that I stream. I just set it up next to my computer. When I go upstairs, that should be cut down as well.
Gotcha.
But it's got one HDMI port, but like for the minis, I can just keep plugging and unplugging from the back of the minis, which I'm not worried about. So
that's what I have in my office. I have a small I want to say it's a 27-inch LED, and it works. Obviously it works perfectly when I'm in my office. If I want to hook something up to it, I go, but it's not overly gigantic. So conceivably. You can get something like that for like $100.
That's what I'm thinking. Now, also, a friend of the family is actually really good at building stuff, so we may just have him build something. But I'm trying to get an idea. I want maybe something on wheels, so that way I can wheel out the second TV. Like even like put it in front of the first one and then just hook up and play what I want to play. So.
Always an option. Or what you can do is if you build something on top of your current television unit, and maybe if it's wide enough, you have your big screen on the left side, and then do a little platform for the smaller one.
I was thinking of that, but I just feel like it would look weird unless I just go out and buy another 55-inch television.
Well, no, because if you think, actually, I think it would look kind of cool for a couple of reasons. One, it's like you've got the smaller one on a platform, so it's higher, a little bit higher, and kind of similar to the other TV. But the other thing about it is that then you'll have a space underneath that because you're building a little platform to put those systems.
Let's do this, folks. Welcome to Retro Gamers Cribs.
I'm getting seasick.
That's what it looks like right now. I don't know why I never did this in the past.
You don't have room on that for another.
No, not at all. I'm going to put some more shelves on the bottom for stuff. They're all my pops and everything. And that's just some of them. So,
yes, I know.
Have we ever done this? Look at this. All right, so there's...
No, we've never panned because we normally record the podcast for audio.
This is true.
The video portion, people can't see, so
a little corner there,
and they're listening to us. Basically, what Larry is showing us is he has a lot of crap.
How dare you, sir? I've seen your garage. So,
what?
Exactly,
it's my office. Thank you.
Tell Link to lay down.
Where is he? Oh, that's Snow.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Snow, lay down. Okay. Don't move. Stay. Sleep.
Screw you, human.
My cat's listening to me. Look, see, she's sleeping.
And don't move for the next 23 hours.
Do not move until I'm done.
So anyway, that's my dilemma. I'm going to figure it out. I probably be moving like the end of April. I'm really looking forward to it though, because it's just going to be more room. And again, the backdrop will look a little bit nicer in the future. So that's what I got happening. What do you got happening?
Well, this weekend, I know you already know this, but this weekend was WonderCon.
Yes.
And I got to go to WonderCon. And now, full disclosure, WonderCon isn't exactly known for video games. It was originally a comic book convention that, of course, got taken over like they always do by the major television networks and film companies. And now it's all about, panels. We're going to go talk about, the Dark Phoenix movie and Arrow and the Flash and all this stuff. Ugh.
Isn't that why you're out there in Hollywood?
Shh. I just look when I go to a comic book convention, I want to go for comic books.
Okay,
that's my thing.
Fair
enough. I'm a big video game nerd, but I'm also a comic book nerd, which is great. Plus, love going through Artist Alley. So many friggin' talented people that show up there selling their stuff. And it's one of my favorite things to do when I go to a convention.
Even me, I'm not into comics. I'm really not into that. But I love the atmosphere, and I understand and I respect that art. But even the last couple years at New York Comic Con out here in the city, New York City, I've been hitting Artist Alley, and I've been getting stuff. So
no, Artist Alley is really the place to go to. And again, and the reason why it's so cool to go to Artist Alley is because you're getting original stuff and really, really creative stuff that these artists are coming up with. So they're taking these, pre-established ideas, and they're just putting such a cool little spin on it.
Yep.
So I want to just share a few things that I bought while I was at WonderCon. Really quickly, the one booth that I ran into was a I think was it GameRave.com or something like that. It was actually a video game only booth.
Okay.
I took a photo of it.
Oh, yes.
GameRave.com. It was all video game based.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I went over there to look at video games, even though I wasn't planning to buy any video games at the con. Just talking to the guy, and he's got all his stuff and everything like that. And then I just so happened to see, he's got some games that are complete in box. And I happened to notice for Sega Genesis, he had Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
Okay.
And I'm like, ooh, I was like, I used to have that game. It was one of the ones I got rid of, and I'm sorry I ever got rid of it because it's a rare game now.
Yeah, it is now.
It's a rare game to get your hands on. I shouldn't say that and Michael Jackson in the same sentence. Sorry.
I was holding back.
but I don't. So I just asked him because I'm like, oh, how much is the Michael Jackson Moonwalker game? And he just looks at me and he's like, oh, well, it's complete in box, and it's like he said something really weird, like complete in box, untouched, $200. And I'm like, okay, I'm not buying it. But again, but it was one of those things where he's like, oh, it's complete in box, this, that, and the other. And it just also got me thinking. I'm like, Genesis games were naturally supposed to be complete in box. In other words, it's like, unlike a Super NES game, it's like you weren't going to slide the game back into the box. The Genesis games, they clipped into the box. Exactly. They attached into the box, so there was no reason to get rid of the box. So I always marvel at buying used Genesis games that don't have the box, because I'm like, why would you ever get rid of the box to begin with?
Very true.
But I digress. So he had Moonwalker complete with the instruction booklet for $200. Obviously passed on it.
Mm-hmm.
I already spent $200 last week on a video game. Thank you, Rich. But a wonderful purchase in Shining Force 3 on the Sega Saturn. So all right, that's it for at least for that video game portion. So went through the con. I did pick up some comic books. I won't go through all of them, but I started filling in my Uncanny X-Men back catalog.
Oh, okay.
Which is really cool. So, and just a quick story on these guys. I got a bunch of them. So basically, the numbers range from 150 to 211. So these are all basically, let's see, from 1981 to 1986.
Oh wow. Okay.
So talking some good. So what was interesting about these is that, well, this one I paid like $20 for, right? But then when I was going through the box, all of these books didn't have a price on them, and the vendor that was there was saying anything without a price is $3 or 4 for $10. And I'm like, my first thought is like, holy crap! I go, because these books do not go for $3. None of these do. Okay. These are all worth more than $3. And I'd probably say if I had to average it, maybe they're worth about 10.
Oh wow.
Like $8 to $10 each. Okay. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait a minute. I go $3 each, 4 for 10. I go, I'm gonna grab all of these. And I'm going through them, and then somebody came over and said, he's like, can I help you? And I'm being nice, and I'm like, look, I was like, I want to buy these. I go, but and I even asked him, I said, are these really 4 for 10? Because I'm like, because he's gonna be the one tallying it up. And he looks at them and he's like, no, these should not be 4 for 10. What happened was somebody went down into the box underneath the table, where they keep their back stock, and they picked it up and they put it in the top box.
There you go.
And the ones in the bottom box weren't labeled yet. So he's like, holy crap. He's like, these should not be in there. I'm really sorry. Let me get the owner. Owner comes over and he flips through them, and he's like, you know what? He's like, these should not be in the top box. And I'm like, crap. I go, because I had pulled all of these out. I was ready to buy them.
And you opened your mouth.
And no, you know what? I am a good person. Okay? I am trying to be really nice here. Okay. And besides, they would have caught it when I was trying to buy it anyway.
Fair enough.
So the guy's like, no, he's like, they really shouldn't be, but I'm going to give you a deal because you're really nice. You pointed it out. Thank you very much. So most of these I wound up getting for half off. I got them for $4 or $5 each, which is ridiculous. Yeah, and which is ridiculously cheap, including the first Starjammers, which is really cool. This is like a first appearance comic, which is really cool. And this one with the Phoenix on it, which is also a really cool
especially
cover.
with the movie coming out now.
Yeah, well, this isn't the real Dark Phoenix Saga. Oh, okay. The real Dark Phoenix Saga is a lot more expensive than that. Well. But anyway, so like I grabbed these, and I think I spent like $80 on all of these, which is ridiculously cheap. Okay. And then moving on. Now, we know your obsession with pop vinyls. However many that you have, all 10,000 of them, and now you're going to buy George and Wheezy.
Yes.
But I'm not a pop collector. I'm really not. It's not my thing. I only have like a handful of ones that are specific to things I like.
And you even send some to me.
Right. I sent you pop figures because I don't want them anymore. And you were like, oh, I'll take those. But I was looking for a specific pop figure for my friend that I could not find, unfortunately. And by the way, Larry, if you should happen to come across a pop figure of the Light Fury from How to Train Your Dragon 3, please grab it.
The Light Fury. Okay.
Light Fury. It's a white version of Toothless.
Oh, I think I saw that.
It's a white female. Yeah, it's a white female dragon from How to Train Your Dragon 3, which, by the way, is an excellent movie. I highly recommend it. Anyway, while I was looking for this pop figure at the multitude of pop vendors there, because everybody's a pop vendor, nobody had it, so this sucker's really popular. But
I feel like it's exclusive.
No, it's not exclusive. It's part of the regular collection.
Oh, okay.
I happened to come across a couple of pop figures that I could not say no to. So in my very small pop figure collection, we can say hello to 8-bit Jason Voorhees.
Nice. I like that one. That's cool.
Yeah, this one's really cool. I like this one a lot. So hello, 8-bit Jason Voorhees, and my favorite, 8-bit Freddy Krueger.
Awesome.
Which I happen to love.
That is cool.
So that was great. And then I went, that was what I got from the vendors. I would have spent more money while I was there, but CGC took all of my money. Thank you, CGC. CGC is a comics grading company. And what they do is they seal and grade your comics, and I happened to bring them a very old, rare comic that I have, and they were like, it's going to cost you $120. I was like, we'll bleep that out. I was like, okay, but had to do it. But from Artist Alley, I picked up a lot of business cards because what I'll do is I'll go to their websites later and kind of see everything that they have. Yeah. Because there were some people that had really cool stuff. But these I picked up while I was there because I thought these were really awesome prints. One is of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Ooh, very nice.
Really cool. Yeah. And if you have not seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, see it now. There's a reason why it won an Oscar for Best Animated Film. Absolutely monumental movie. And then this one, which is my personal favorite, and video game related, say hello to the Infinity Glove and play with power.
That is awesome. It's a picture of the Infinity Gauntlet shaped like a power glove. Yes. Thanos rocking it. That is really cool. I thought those were t-shirts. How cool would it be, though, if like he had the Infinity Gauntlet on a power glove, and as he played, he used the stones by playing the game, playing it as a game with the controller. We'd be safe because the snap wouldn't work because I could never get the power glove to work properly. Exactly. There would definitely be no snap with the glove. He would just be like, I can't hear anything. Let alone being able to move your fingers. Yes. So that was my haul from WonderCon. It was a great show. There was a lot of cosplay, of course. Naturally, I did not take a lot of pictures because I just never do, and I really should. But I left there early because it was a Saturday. They had sold out by I think 1:30. Oh. You couldn't even walk. Yeah, that gets rough. So I was done. I was just so done. So ran for my life. Thankfully survived. But I came out with some really cool stuff. Very happy with my purchases, and that is my recap of WonderCon. Excellent. Yes. And so the final thing here is, and I waited because you told me this was on its way. I'm waiting for now to open it. But it sounds like, I hate to say, I think I know what it is. This is, long story short, my birthday present. You said you mailed it. Yes, and we haven't touched on that at all this episode. So first off, congratulations to you for holding back on that. Thank you. It took a lot. Well, you're welcome. And the second thing is, Larry's birthday was this past Saturday. So, Larry, a very happy 39th birthday. Yes, I've known you for more than half of the years that you've been alive. Just about, actually, and then some at this point. Holy cow. We're in the long haul. And I have to say, every day I suffer just a little bit more from it. But no. But seriously, I wanted to wish you a very happy birthday. And, thank you. It's awesome doing this podcast with you. It's been awesome being friends with you all of these years. And I wanted to do something special for your birthday. So I mailed you a couple of gifts. And let me take a guess, because I picked it up from the post office.
Okay.
But
and it actually made it to you.
No, thank God. Thank God. But it doesn't sound like 100% because, to be honest with you, I think I know what it is. I'm going to jump the gun a little bit. I know they've put out some new of the Funko cereals. So, because unfortunately, when I picked it up, I the cereal came out of the box, if you can hear it.
Well,
so, I mean... As long as the box isn't broken inside, that's fine. I was going
to say the box itself, the mailbox looks like it came complete, so that's good.
A little bump, but that's okay.
A little bump, okay, but
the cereal shouldn't be too bad. So I'm looking forward to opening it.
Yes, I love the fact that you're guessing, but you're gonna open it in a second, and I got you a couple of things. Okay. Got you a couple of gifts, but I also did something else. Oh. So before you open your gifts, I want to show you. I made you a very special birthday video.
It's glued. Oh.
No. I made you a very special birthday video because I figured we do our podcast. I knew we were going to be, opening your gifts on the podcast, but I wanted it. Don't open it yet.
It's glued. You know how glued this is? All right. Well,
yes, I know. It's priority mail. But first, I want to share. I want to share this very special
cereal
birthday video. No, not cereal. I want to share this very special birthday video with you. So let me pop on the video and let's watch that.
It's got to be cereal.
Larry, it is your 38th birthday, and I can't think of a better way to wish you a happy birthday than fulfilling my promise from last year. So, as everybody knows, this is the Virtual Boy that I won from you for our 2018 contest, because you decided to spend $2,800, that's $2,800, on video games last year, when I spent $937 or something like that.
It was a little higher than that,
as a result of that contest, I won this Virtual Boy.
Very nice.
And so I have enlisted my friend Jamie here to help me. Jamie is
Hello, Jamie?
Well, he's not a fan of the Virtual Boy, right? You like the Virtual Boy?
Totally.
Oh, what's wrong with you?
Nothing. I like the. Oh, you mean destroying the Virtual Boy?
No. Yeah.
I thought that's a fan of.
No, are you a fan of the actual Virtual Boy system?
Oh God, no, it was horrible.
Yeah, it was absolutely horrible. And do you
Just
agree that
me.
these things should not exist on this planet?
No, they should need to go away.
Yeah, they need to go away. See, Larry, it's not just me. It's like everybody except you. So, I'm fulfilling my promise. Like I said, I told you I was going to destroy this thing, and I thought, what better way to do it than on your birthday? So, Jamie has decided to help me out. And, Jamie, how will we be destroying this thing? Oh, we're going to be destroying it with that.
With the Sawzall.
With the Sawzall.
Oh, my God.
So, what's going to happen when we take that Sawzall to the Virtual Boy? Because this is a hunk of plastic and glass and...
Cleave that in half.
We're going to cleave it. Do you think it'll do the job?
I hope so.
All right, well, we're going to find out. Larry,
that is the Virtual Boy
I hope you enjoy this.
that you got from me. I can see a little ding in the front.
All right.
What is happening here?
Here we go.
Oh, God, no! No! Oh, that is a lot of plastic! This stuff, wow, it's having a little trouble getting through there. See how heavy it's made? Oh, no, it's going through now. What? This piece is coming out of the middle. Oh, make it stop! Oh, no. Wow, actually, I give you credit. You saw it right through the middle of it and didn't hit the eyes. Oh. What is... Anthony has way too much joy on his face right now with this. What's going on? And the two oranges in the background on the trees are annoying me.
Electronics and all.
Electronics and all. Well, look, now we can see the inside of the Virtual Boy, and I think, you know what? I think the warranty is expired with the barcode. What do you think?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be. I think it might be done.
Actually,
but look,
it's
Larry,
kind of cool to see the inside of it.
This is what the inside of your Virtual Boy looks like. You think that's enough?
Oh, probably not.
No. What else?
No, that's enough.
When in doubt.
What else?
Ooh.
Bring in the hammer.
Hammer.
Oh, jeez.
You want to go first?
Oh, no, please.
Oh, may I?
Yes.
May I? Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh!
That's how it's done.
Score!
We're not done yet. Oh, look.
No, you gotta be done. You broke your table.
No, luckily.
Okay, good.
We have sacrificed it to the
We broke it in half.
All right, cool. So how about you hold the stand, and I'll see what I can do here.
Oh, this is good.
All right. I'm going to hammer off my fingers.
I don't think this is going to work well at all.
I don't think this sucker's going to... This is very industrial. How about if I go inside it?
There we go.
Here we go.
Oh! Beast!
is. Ooh, I think I lost the chip. There's the 3D.
What?
There goes the 3D.
What was that? That was the lens.
Oh, there
Oh
we
my
go.
god! Oh, you cracked it like a lobster. Oh. Oh, you had to? That last piece?
Is it dead? There's still another piece.
All right.
Would you like to take care of that?
The table's holding up fairly
More the
well right now.
platform than the
Well, I
actual-
think we killed the platform, but please be my guest.
Oh, now your friend's getting in on this?
Oh, this is gonna be good. One shot, wonder.
I'm gonna try.
Go ahead.
Oh!
Okay.
Cracked
Almost
it
done.
like a nut. Duh.
I consider that dead.
I think that's dead.
Oh.
So,
Oh,
Larry,
God.
happy birthday.
Look, you know what? Yeah.
This isn't cereal, is it?
No, it's not cereal.
I thought it was a
I think
Funko cereal.
I think you should open it. I think now's a great time to open your gift. If you can, thank you USPS for making boxes that are impossible to open.
There we go.
And I want you to hold it up high so
Oh!
everybody can see what's in it.
Oh. Oh.
That thing was surprisingly soft and very comfortable.
Oh, it's like, oh my, that is just. I mean, hold
Well,
on,
Look, here was.
Oh my God! Would
Yeah.
you add, oh, there's a lens.
Yeah, there's definitely a lens there, but do you want to? Yeah, what does the inside of the box look like? You should put that up to the
Wait,
camera.
hold on. I see a couple other things, and let me take these.
I was gonna say, I don't think you want to make such a mess in your house,
Let me take those.
especially since you're packing.
Oh, what
By the way, I
what
expect
else
you to
did
keep this gift.
What happened?
I expect you to keep this gift.
There's a couple other things in here as well, but.
We got there it is.
Oh my! you sadistic! You took joy in this.
Well, of course I did. Did I not tell you I told you all of last year that when I win the Virtual Boy, I was going to destroy it.
That's creepy looking. Look at that. That's like,
yeah, isn't that weird?
Like, see you hasta la vista.
Well, and think of it this way: I just gave you a very complicated puzzle for your birthday. You just need to put it back together.
I'm not good with puzzles. You know that.
I know. So this is your first challenge.
I found there's got to be the model number. So maybe.
Maybe you should call them. Like call the Nintendo hotline and tell them that your Virtual Boy is no longer working and needs to be fixed.
I was hoping one of the oranges would be in the box as well.
No, I didn't want to give the inner workings of the Virtual Boy a citrus flavor. So that's the best part. That is the best part.
You can see where the Sawzall went through.
Yes, you can.
It's like, yeah.
Hey, you know what? Look, I will give credit to the Virtual Boy for once. I will give one credit to it. It was tough to saw through.
Really was.
So it was definitely durable.
It's like TGRI.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
So anyway,
God.
that look, I was just
glass on the
fulfilling
floor now. Shouldn't have done that.
I know. I was fulfilling a promise that I said I was going to do last year when I won the contest. So Larry, I apologize for. Well, no, I don't. I don't apologize because Virtual Boy sucks. I am very happy that I was able to fulfill my promise and to finally give it to you. So happy birthday.
This is the actual Virtual Boy.
It is an actual Virtual Boy, yes. Look, there you go. Now, before you think, okay, so
yeah.
Aside from the universal hate I'm receiving from you, I'm sure, I did get you another gift at least.
Is that what this other thing is?
Yes, that's what the other thing is, and that is not part of the Virtual Boy. It is not anything like that.
Is it the sledgehammer that you?
Yes, it is no, but open up your card and your gift, at least your second gift. I honestly think the Virtual Boy was all I should have gotten you because I thought it was the best gift I could give you.
You know what's funny? My headset fell out of my head as you were saying probably the nicest thing you're going to say during this
and that was the nicest thing I was going to say. But now you can tell people that you have a Virtual Boy in your collection.
Who was your friend again with you in that video?
He used a pseudonym, so he did not want to be named. But at the same time, neither of us feel threatened by you, so it's okay.
How dare you? I have people. I know people.
Sure.
So let's see.
Yes, open your card.
Oh, card first? Okay.
Yes, always open the card first.
Really? Is that like a standard? I don't know.
No, yeah, wow, Larry, God, what are you, 5?
No, I'm 39, which you didn't even get right in the video.
Hey, what do you want from me? Okay? I was in the wrong year in my brain, but the bottom line is I still delivered.
Oh my God, what is this? Oh, this, what?
Push the button.
That is awesome! Oh my God!
Yes, that's the best card I've ever seen.
Oh, it's okay.
Yes, 8-bit happy birthday. I thought I would give you a little something to make you smile, considering
you win. The forces of good applaud you. F the Virtual Boy. I don't know what that means. This is amazing. Yes. This makes this does quite make up a little bit. It makes up for this part right here. This part that you destroyed. This part right here. This card makes up for that. This part I never liked.
Right. So, the other 3,000 pieces. That's another story.
I have a lot to clean.
Yes.
Okay. So let's. What do we got here? Ooh. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So, I know you're not a book guy. It's not your thing. I was like, but this...
I can read. No, I know.
No, I didn't say you couldn't read. That's a whole other argument. But you're not a big book guy, but I honestly thought, like, if you had to have any book that's related to video games, that's the book to have.
No, this is very cool. Thank you very much.
And not only that, you don't have to read it. There are a lot of pretty pictures.
There are a lot of pictures in this. Look at this thing. I could finally beat... Oh, it's even got the Game Boy games in here? All right.
Yeah, it's got all the Mario games in it. It's an excellent book. Highly recommend it for anybody else. That concludes the birthday portion of our show. And Larry, I hope you had a wonderful birthday. I hope you enjoy both gifts that I gave you. I'd like to personally, say once again that I am proud to have been the one to give you a Virtual Boy for your collection, because I know it has eluded you for so long.
I think this goes here, right?
So while Larry tries to start putting that back together, I'm going to tell you that if you want to keep following the Retro Gamers, you can find us at www.theretrogamers.com. You can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/retrogamerspodcast. Sign up with us on Instagram at Retro Gamers Podcast. And obviously, if you want to watch our show, you can watch us on YouTube at the Retro Gamers Podcast, or you can listen to us anywhere that you listen to podcasts. We're all over the place. Again, if you give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, we would really appreciate it. This has been another great week, another wonderful episode, another fantastic birthday for Larry. And we will catch you next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.
Well, I gotta go get my soldering iron.